Hi everybody, today I will be doing my final portfolio and reflection for IDT 3600. I will be talking about the ISTE standards for teachers. The ISTE standard for teachers talks about effective teachers model and apply the ISTE standards for students as they design, implement, and assess learning experiences to engage students and improve learning, enrich professional practice, and provide models for students in the community. All teachers should meet the following standards and performance indicators: facilitate and inspire student learning and creativity, design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments, model digital age work and learning, promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility, engage in professional growth and leadership. Standard 1 talks about facilitate and inspire student learning and creativity. For Standard 1, I've chosen to pick points A, B, and C to help explain a little bit more. Point A talks about my concept map or graphic organizer using the human senses. Here, students are able to show what they have learned in a creative and innovative way using different colors or images and facts they found themselves. Point B goes with my web quest. It was a real-world issue of the galaxy in space. Here, students were able to build a display, a presentation, and answer questions given online all through my web quest. In C, I chose to use discussions to help show that students can reflect and collaborate with each other on what they learned, what they liked, and how they can help each other. Standard 2 talks about the design and development digital age learning experiences and assessments bring. I chose to use points A, B, and C to help explain Standard 2 a little bit better. Point A talks about my comic strip where students learn to incorporate what their lesson was about through images, and they get to create their own comic. So I chose to use math and a picture to explain everything. My second point B talks about interactive learning activities where all students were able to personalize their individual curiosities and become active participants in setting their own educational goals and learning how well they're doing through a game. Maybe they picked a character that they've seen on TV or something they really look up to, like animals, where the wild kratts might be a great example. For point C, I chose to use my lesson plan. Here, I can personalize learning activities to address all different types of students and their learning styles. And there are a bunch of modifications that a teacher can give through a lesson plan to help teach their students. Standard 3 talks about model digital age work and learning. Here, I chose to use points B, C, and D of Standard 3 to explain a little bit better. For point B, I chose to use my blog where students and peers, parents, and the community are all able to read something and post their comments or concerns about it using a digital tool like a website or a mobile phone to look up the blog. For point C, I've decided to use a podcast talking about how a podcast in an actual classroom might be relevant to students or how it might portray another level of the lesson taught. And for point I chose to use a screencast version of a lesson I did, and I taught students how to carry an image from their desktop into a Word document. Here I was creating another tool of implementing an image and analyzing how well they did it when they turned it in. Standard 4 talks about promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility. For Standard 4, I chose to use points A, B, and C. For point A, I talked about the Weebly itself that I was able to create because it advocated for me that I understood what I was doing. I was being safe about what I was doing because I posted everything on my Weebly showing that everything was followed the rules and all regulations. I gave credit to where things needed to be credited, and I gave my reflection on them. For point B, I decided again to use my web quest because here I gave the option for a student to pick either the presenter, the display builder, or the researcher. So all different types of needs were met through learning centers and their strategies, providing digital tools and resources so all students were able to achieve their goals. And for point C, I again used my discussions that promote etiquette and responsibility when talking to another student, encouraging them and enlightening another student rather than pointing out what was incorrect or wrong. Everyone can learn from this in a polite and proper manner. Standard 5 talks about engaging in professional growth and leadership. For Standard 5, I chose to use points A, B, and C. For point A, I decided to use an online game called Free Rice. Here, students are able to work on their vocabulary skills, for example, and when they get a word right, they are able to donate 10 grains of rice to a struggling country where they have low food. You can change the subject to anything, whereas there can be math or chemistry or geometry, science, English. It is a very creative way to show student improvement because they get to see their bowl of rice grow, which is awesome. Point B, I've chosen again to use my screencast. Here, leadership is demonstrated in a version of technology infusion. Again, I used an image from my desktop and how to drag it to a Word document through a YouTube video. So I've used an image, a Word document, and a video, all three tools, just to show one technique of incorporating an image. For point C, I've decided to use the actual Weebly reflections we have to do after an assignment. It evaluates and reflects on current research that we have done of ourselves and about the assignment, and it is a great way to practice regular existing reflection on digital tools for a student who needs to learn what this helps them with. Thank you so much. That's the end of it.